Hello, everybody. My name is Guenevere, also known as Gigi. I am the host and creator of Friday Night Forex and Chill. And today we just want to have a roundtable discussion, sit back and talk about some of the success of some of the team members, some of the faces you're becoming familiar with, such as Chalcye of Pip Life with Chalcye and Jamie, KutTheRope. They've been hosting a few of the Forex and Chill sessions for me because we're growing as a team, we're growing as a family, and we just want to tell you what it's like to be a part of the family. Forex and Chill is like a name brand of what we started doing on Friday nights, hanging out, teaching people free education all across the world. But it goes deeper than that. We have another close-knit community, a family that you guys aren't being exposed to, and it's called the Pip Lab. Within the Pip Lab, it's a lot of students who came together to learn to trade. We have students who have been trading for 2 to 3 years, and we have people who've been trading for 2 to 3 days. But we make it work because the people who are successful are helping to teach and mentor the people who are just coming in. And with that happening, we're seeing successful traders created at a much faster pace. For example, we have people on the team who are hitting 6 figures in well under a year. Now, this might not be your story, but we can welcome you into our story and help make it a part of your story as well. So first, I'm going to talk about myself and how I got started in Forex. And then I'm going to have my beautiful friend, and I call her my Forex BFF, Chalcye. I'm going to have her tell her story, and then we're going to have Mr. KutTheRope, Jamie, tell his story. A little bit about how I got started in Forex. I know I don't look it, but I'm 52 years old. I'm a grandmother of 4 beautiful grandchildren. For many years, I was a single mother, and I had to hustle, work 2, 3, 4 jobs to put food on the table to make sure that my daughter had everything she deserved. I wanted to make sure that she could go out and do all the same things that her friends who had a 2-income family could do, that she could go to those school events, that she could go to the prom, that she could get a car when she turned 16. So that meant I had to hustle and work. So I was working at the post office. I was a music director of a church. I was doing court reporting and transcripts part-time, anything I could to bring that additional income into the house. And when she got older, I started looking into other opportunities, and I came across contracting for the military or for the government. So here I go packing up. She was 19, 20 years old. I packed up everything I could, went to Afghanistan in hopes of making even more money to take care of her better, because now she was in college, and at the age of 20, she had become a mother as well. When I went to Afghanistan, I was able to make high 6 figures. I'm talking $150,000 to $200,000 a year tax-free. And we were living the life. And for a while, it was wonderful. It was everything I had ever wanted. And I was able to provide not just for her, but do things for other people in my family. I was able to give back to my community. I made private gifts and donations to people who had lost a child, or one of the parents had gotten hurt or sick and was out of work, or had lost a job. And, so that got old. It really got old. My daughter gave me a grandson, and then she gave me a granddaughter. I was in a situation where there was incoming and suicide bombs. I was seeing people die around me every day. And I said, there has to be another way to make this kind of money, but to be able to do it from home, where my life won't be in danger, where I won't be separated from my children and my grandchildren and my family anymore. So I started looking for investment opportunities, because if you don't know anything about overseas contracting, it's like a never-ending cycle. You see people come over, they make that money, they take that money, go buy a house and a car, then they say, that's it, I've made enough money, I'm going home. But in 6 months to a year, you see them right back, because that money went away. Now they couldn't sustain that lifestyle that they were used to. And the only way they could keep from losing that house or that car was to come back again and be separated from their family again. I saw marriages fall apart. I saw people who lost their parents and wasn't there to say goodbye, had to rush home, bury their mom or dad or a spouse or a child, and rush back to that money. So it became like a trap. And so I started looking for investment opportunities. I said, this is going to be my last year. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make this money. But this time I'm going to be smart with this money, and I'm going to learn to flip it or grow it. So I found out about Forex, and like everybody else, I turned to social media. I went on social media. I said, hey guys, does anybody know about Forex? And immediately people started giving me their stories. I had a friend who had paid $5,000 for a course that lasted 3 days, and here he was 6 months later, still didn't know what he was doing, was blowing accounts and was losing money. People who had got scammed Then one person, he came to me, he said, my fiance is part of an educational platform and I can have her talk to you. So she told me about what was known then as IML Academy. It's known as I Am Mastery Academy now. And I know a lot of people hear that name and they cringe, but like every company, it's had growing pains, but it has evolved. But I did my homework and I compared it to everything out there. And I said, where else can I get multiple educators teaching multiple trading concepts? And it's only going to cost me like $200 to get started. Well, I'm not trying to sell you anything here today. This is not to try to recruit you. I'm just telling you my story. So I signed up, and a week later, I was on an airplane to Afghanistan. I got to Afghanistan, I buckled down, started studying every moment I had. I was watching the educators and the instructors. Fast forward a year and a half later, I had made enough money that I could give up that job, but I had to come home and work another job to compensate. So now I had two streams of income. I had the money I was making from Forex, and I had the money I was making from a comfortable job at home. So I didn't replace my income, but I was able to take that income and be able to come home and make less money to compensate what was missing. And I said, if I can do this, if I can change my life, then why shouldn't I change other people's lives too? Because my grandmother raised me to always give back, to always be generous. I was raised that if you bless others, the blessings will come back upon you. So now not only am I a six-figure trader, a six-figure earner, I have so many people who have come into this opportunity with me, who are a part of the Pip Lab, who are making six figures as well. For example, I met Marios. Marios is one of the top educators in our platform, but he's also a dear friend. He was his last year in college. And during his last year in college, he came across Forex. And when he figured out this is what he wanted to do with his life, he left his last year of college. Within a month, he took $2,000 to $12,000. Fast forward, it's been 2 years now. He's having $40,000 weeks. At the age of 25, he will never work for anyone again. And I remember when his goal and his dream was to be a six-figure trader, that's nothing to him now. He's looking at embarking upon seven figures, and he's only 25. Then there's Terrell. He's on the team as well. His story's a little bit different. He had graduated college. He went to work for AT&T for like 7 years, making $32 an hour. He came across Forex. He buckled down, got a mentor, he studied, and within 7 months, he took $2,000 to six figures. I remember back in October or November of 2018, he had a $16,000 day. It was his first time making five figures in one day. And I remember looking at his Facebook page, and he had taken that money and he had fed 250 hungry families for Thanksgiving. So that's the kind of ways that this can change your life. Then we have Justin on the team. He's been trading 2.5 years. He's a father and a husband. He has taken $1,000 to over $200,000 in 2.5 years. And recently he had a $55,000 trade. He risked $10 in February when the market was crashing and tumbling and people were losing everything. He sold the market, he shorted the market, and a month later he closed that one trade with $54,000. And that's more than most people I know make in a year. And it's because he believed in himself, he believed in the skill set, and now he's living comfortably. But that's enough about me. And I don't want to scare you with all the big numbers. We have people having $20 days. We have people having $200 days. We have people having $20,000 days. So everybody goes at their own pace, at their own level, and we're here to help you. And we just want to tell you now that you're more than welcome to reach out to us to become a part of the family. And so by me starting ForexNChill in the Pip Lab, that's how I met Jamie and Chalcye. But I didn't really meet Chalcye. I met her husband. So I'm going to shut up now because I love to talk, guys. I love helping other people. I tell people I love two things. I love to make money and I love to help people. And when you put that together, I love to help people make money. So I'm going to turn it over to my beautiful friend, Chalcye.
Hey guys, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Gwen, for sharing your story. You have inspired me beyond measure. And like you said, we've never actually met in person. I talk to you probably more than I talk to a majority of the people that I've known my whole life. Same with Jamie. So This opportunity not only has brought me, success from a trading standpoint, but it's brought me a whole new group of people to surround myself with, which is a huge blessing in itself. My favorite part of this is just our family structure that we have. So I'll just tell you guys a little bit about myself. So I'm 34 years old. I am a mother of 4. My husband has 3 children from a previous marriage. So about 8 years ago, I walked into being a mom and never looked back. So we have 4 kids between the ages of 22 and 4. So I keep busy with that. And I really I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, oh Lord, I'm a mom now. Like I have people to take care of. And so I grew up pretty quickly. And I grew up in a household. My mom was a single mom, very much like Gigi. So my mom was constantly working. She was doing everything she could to put food on the table for our family, to keep the lights on. And there were times in my childhood that were pretty rough. We had times where we didn't have lights. We had to go and take showers at our friends' houses, stuff like that. And my mom literally did everything she could. But in those times, sometimes the money just wasn't there to make everything happen for us. So I vowed that as the oldest of 4, I helped raise my siblings. I was the one cooking dinner a lot of nights. I was the one helping do homework, getting everybody ready for school the next day, and all of that. I vowed that when I got into the position where I was going to have a family of my own, that I wanted more for them. And I wanted more not only because I didn't have it, because I wanted it because my mom worked so hard to give it to us. And I went to college. I was like, I'm going to get this degree. I'm going to go. I'm going to make over 6 figures. This is going to be, an amazing situation. So I graduated from college in 2009. And if you remember those times, the market crashed. Unemployment was crazy. There weren't a lot of jobs available. So here I am with my bachelor's degree, $100,000 in student loan debt, and I can't find a job to pay back these student loans that they just handed to me. I had no credit, I had nothing, but they just handed it to me, and I'm 6 months out, I'm supposed to start making payments on it. So I found a job as a part-time teller in banking. I think I was making like $250 a week, barely enough to pay my student loans. I had to move back home, completely turn my life back to here I am, I'm at home and I don't have freedom and I'm an adult and I'm supposed to be handling myself. And so I took banking and I took that opportunity, and I had a mentor that put me in the position to continue growing. And she pushed me and she helped me be successful. And I moved up slowly through the ranks. I quickly became an assistant branch manager. I was in a sales position, and I stayed in banking for 10 years. I had no intention whatsoever to be in sales. I had no intention whatsoever to work in the world of finance. Like, that was not my plan at all. But that was what the world handed to me. So the best thing that happened out of banking, I met my husband. We'll fast forward. I meet my husband. A couple years later, he meets Gwen. Gwen introduces Forex to him. And he's like, hey, babe, I'm going to start doing this Forex thing. And I'm like, what is Forex? And he's trying to explain it to me. And I'm like, you do you, babe. You do what you're going to do. And hopefully it works out. My husband's a dreamer. He's an entrepreneur at heart. He became a dad at 17. So he has always pushed himself extra hard to do everything that he possibly can to give his kids, the adulthood and the life that he didn't have. So he started trading. He kept trying to convince me, you really should try this. You really should try this. And I was like, no, I'm good. I have a 9 to 5. I know my paycheck's coming every week. I'm okay. And then the stress started happening at work. You know, you have sales goals and you have kids that are like, you know, you seem really stressed out. Are you mad at us? Did we do something wrong? No, baby, mama's just really, really tired from work. And those days continued happening. And I was being pulled away from my family because I was so overwhelmed with everything that was happening at work. I was trying to balance my work and my life and all of that. And my husband was like, I really, really, really think that you should try this. So I tried. I started learning, and I hit the ground running. And because of his success and him never giving up on this opportunity and what it could do for our family, we were able to purchase our first home. We were able to buy a brand new car. I never thought that I would ever own a brand new car, to be honest. Like, we were living paycheck to paycheck. You know, like I said, I have a ton of student loan debt. We have 4 kids from the time that he was 17. So, I mean, we need every ounce of income, and Forex has given us the ability to live more comfortably. It's given us the ability to not only supplement our income, but now I've been able to leave my full-time job. So I retired, I'm 34. I retired from corporate America with no intention of going back. I've been able to grow my trading account and continue growing it. I'm now teaching, you know, my peers, the people that are coming in along with me and after me. And all because of this, I've been able to grow in ways that I never could have imagined. I spent 10 years in banking begging for someone to give me some kind of leadership role. And even when I was a leader, I wasn't really leading. I was funneling down what I was being told to funnel down for someone else's goal and for someone else's pocket. Now I can pour myself into and pour my goals and pour my confidence and all of that into the people around me. And I'm able to share that with my family, with Jamie, with Gwen, with my husband, with Justin, with all of the other members on our team. And we're all able to collaborate. We all have the same mindset. We all want to be successful. We all want to earn that income. So that is my story about Forex. And I'm going to let Jamie, my wonderful friend, go ahead and share his story.
Hello, 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 hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is your boy, Jamie, a.k.a. KutTheRope. I'm bringing it to you live from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm just blessed beyond measurement, you know, to be able to be in the company of Guenevere, Ramos and Chalcye, Atkins. I tell you, you know, Gwen is leading this team. She's leading this charge to eradicate debt out of families' lives, you know, and that right there, that is a feat within itself. And knowing that she was able to collaborate and bring like a ragtag type group together to create a phenomenon called ForexNChill, Friday night ForexNChill. And it was just a couple of people who wanted to kind of get together and kind of like the blind leading the blind. And she took that charge and now has created a business, has created a multitude of leaders, a multitude of people who are like-minded, who are willing to go ahead and take the charge and to grab the torch, if you will, and take it down that extra mile, that extra 10 miles or whatever the 20 miles is. Because see, teamwork makes the dream work. All right. And when you can be, you know, what they say, the word says to be evenly yoked. All right. We're not talking about, you know, eggs and sausages and bacon and grits and toast. No, we're talking about evenly yoked, that we can go ahead and bring that weight upon our shoulders and take that charge together. So, you know, just to be in the company of Chalcye, her beautiful family, her husband Lorenzo, you know, Gwen with her beautiful family, I tell you, it is just to be comfort to be around people who are like-minded, like myself. So, you know, my name is Jamie Rodgers. I'm from the city of Chicago, born and raised. Come from very humble beginnings. My grandmother, my grandfather raised me. And looking back, you know, my grandmother always said, you know, you're going to have to become better than average and ordinary. See, my grandmother told me, and my grandfather instilled it into me. You're not going to wind up on the block, and you're not going to wind up dead on the block or wind up in a cell block. You're going to get off this block, and you're going to get off this corner. You're going to get off this concrete, and you're going to do something with your life. See, unfortunately, I wasn't able to, my family wasn't able to send me to college. You know, I mean, I got a high school education, you know, and I just did the right thing. I went into the military. They had 3 hots in the cot, fully clothed. They even gave me underwear. So I was ready to go. I was good to go because I had to do something. I had to get out of that rat race. And I didn't want to be like my friends still today, 20, 30 years later, still staying at home with mom and dad. I just wasn't that guy. I had to get out. I had to spread my wings. But I knew that I was not going to be an individual that was always going to be told what to do. See, when you're growing up, you know, you got your mom and your daddy telling you what to do, right? And then, you know, you grow up, you become an adult, and you get a job. Now you got somebody else still telling you what to do. You know, I just wasn't that guy. I'm not saying I have a problem with authority, but I know what right looks like. All right. And I know I'm not going to put myself in a position that will compromise my integrity. See, when we put ourselves in that position, again, you got to be like-minded and around people that think like you. And that's the reason why, you know, I love the opportunities to be with I Am Academy. They just give you an opportunity to become better than average and ordinary. So growing up in Chicago, I went to the military, did my time, was actually retired out the military. And then life hit me in the face. I didn't know what else to do. So I did the right thing. I figured I'd get into movies. Yep. Not as an actor, actually running the theater. All right. And I had the liberty of working with a bunch of teenagers. That didn't work out either because my mindset was still stuck military. It was just structure. It was just something that had to be, you know, step A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm sure somebody can understand where I'm coming from with that, right? So life went on, you know, got married, you know, had a couple of children, had 2 beautiful daughters. I'm telling you, they are the light. They are the apple of my eye. And life happened. So I figured I'd go ahead and chase criminals for a living. Yep, did that. Things happened. Worked things out. Got a phone call one day. They said, hey, we like your credentials. Why don't you come on over here to Iraq? I'm like, sure, at least I know who got the guns, right? So I head on over to Iraq. But little did I know, there was a young lady by the name of Guenevere Ramos, who was on this call this evening, whom I never met, but always heard the name. From Iraq to Afghanistan to Kuwait, and never had the opportunity to meet her. This is the reason why I know this was divine intervention, that we are here together today, is because of that main reason. And I'm just glad that we were able to meet each other. She welcomed me in with open arms to teach me this concept about Forex. See, they dangled the carrot in my face. They dangled the carrot to say, you know what, Jamie, we're going to let you just give up on your goals and dreams. Because at the time, my wife and I, we owned our own financial services company. First year out, we ranked number 3 out of 7 states. I mean, we were literally ignorance on fire. But we wanted more out of life. Unfortunately, that's where the rubber met the road. Some things happened, some financial problems happened, some unforeseen. It's like every time something came, something else came. It was like we didn't know where to come, we didn't know where to go. So I decided to give up on that business and get a job. $38,000 a year is what they offered me. Of course, needed the money, needed the income. I took a bite. Well, then another carrot got dangled. Worked as a Fed. I took another bite. $48,000 a year. Then they offered me $101,000 a year. That's when I went to contracting overseas. Took another bite. I was getting further and further away from that time freedom. See, freedom to me is not always about the money. It's about the time. I don't know about you, But time is something that I can't get back. And if you can get back, please go ahead and email me, send me a message, www.KutTheRope.com. Reach out to me because I want to know how I can get that time back. My daughters are almost grown. One of them is an adult. One is on their way to getting ready to graduate high school, to go to college, to do great things. And I'm missing out on that time. I said, it's got to be something. There's something that has to change. I've got to get back to that entrepreneurial mindset. I've got to get back to that time freedom. It's because I felt like an animal that was caged. And because I was just here in this area, I just don't want to be here anymore. So I had to take the responsibility. See, I had to cut the rope. I had to take my own advice and cut the rope. Cut the rope of the mediocrity. Cut the rope of the naysayers. Stop paying attention to other people who really didn't care about my well-being to begin with. See, don't we have that certain person in our ear? Oh man, don't worry about doing that kind of crap. That don't work. Heck, my buddy used to do it and they didn't do well in it. Well, little did they know that they only stayed in it for 24 hours. How can you get something out of something when you ain't did what you were supposed to do? See, that's called life, right? That's called experience. That's called expectations. But if you're not willing to put in the work, it's like trying to go to the gym. How can I go ahead and expect to have 22-inch pythons, a 52-inch neck, and a six-pack abs if I'm sitting here eating McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and a Diet 7-Up? It just ain't going to work, right? I have to go to the gym. I've got to work out. I've got to go ahead and put myself in a position where I can have those beautiful big arms, that nice six-pack abs, you know? Not saying that I don't. It's there somewhere. But anyway, another story. So I saw this opportunity with Forex. Someone introduced it to me, and I just thought I just knew everything. I didn't know everything. I thought I knew. I said, oh, I'm going to look at this video on YouTube. Didn't work. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and become a professional signal taker. Didn't work. I remember my first trade I took, it was $1,000. I had enough. There was no problem. I already understood, hey, I'm willing to go ahead and lose this $1,000. Yep, I lost it all right, but I lost it in 7 minutes. I wasn't trying to lose it that fast because I did not understand the basic fundamentals of the Forex market and really how it worked. So when I became a student of the Forex market, I humbled myself, got a mentor, sat down and said, okay, what is it that I need to do to become successful? How can I become successful if I'm not willing to do the things that people have become successful if I'm not willing to do what they did? And this person didn't know me from Adam, took me under their wing and showed me how to trade the market. And now 2.5 years later, I've been able to put in a position where I was able to pay off my dream car. I mean, to own my own luxury vehicle. It's just something that where I come from doesn't happen legally. All right. How I grew up legally. And to be able to do that and feel comfortable and say, you know what? I can believe in me now. I can show this to my children. I can show this to my children's children. I can show this and have this generational wealth, if you will, and skill set where this can never be taken away from me or my children or my lineage for the next 10 generations. I don't know about you, but let me ask you a question. Aren't you worth, just really think about it, aren't you worth getting good at something? Let that resonate in your mind. Aren't you worth that? Aren't you worth putting yourself in a position where you can say, you know what? I got it. Mama, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about paying rent no more. Grandma and granddaddy gonna be taken care of. Their meds are gonna be taken care of. I got it. You know what? I can take care of this organization for the next 2 to 3 years. Don't worry about it. Baby, don't worry about it. You're not going to go to college. You're going to go to the college of your choice, not the college that chooses you or the college that you can afford. That's already taken care of. Put yourself in a position where you can teach your child so that way they don't have to worry about having the pressures of having a job. I'm not saying having a job is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But I know for the Rodgers family, for the Rodgers lineage, that's not going to happen, because it's all about getting that time freedom back, because that's something that we can never get back. We don't have a time machine. We can't get it. But we can put ourselves in a position where we can make time freedom a lot better, so we can do the things what we want, when we want, who we want to do it with, and money and time is not an option. All right. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. So I'm going to go ahead and give it back to Gigi, our trusted leader, who I love and respect and have the most respect for. Take it away, Gigi.
So guys, I'm going to leave you with a short story. And it's funny. Before I met Jamie, I had heard this story, and it's about cutting the rope. And this is the first time he is going to hear me tell this story. But when I heard this story for the first time myself, it had such deep meaning to me, and it let me understand why I had been held back from a lot of opportunities in my life. Well, the story goes like this. One day, a guy was walking down the road, and he saw one little man walking, and he had 6 elephants who were following him obediently, and all they had was a small rope around their neck. And so he stopped and he asked the trainer, he's like, how can you get all of these elephants to follow you and be obedient when all they have is a rope around their neck? And he said, well, when they're young, we train them. We put a rope around their neck and we tie them up, and they fight and they fight and they can't break free. He said, eventually they stop fighting. He said, and anytime I put this rope around their neck, they have it in the back of their mind that they can't break free, and I can control them. I can do what I want to with them. So most of us in life today, we're walking around with that rope around our neck. Somebody's told you you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're too old, you're too young, you don't have enough money. But let me tell you about our team. We have people who are high school dropouts who've made 6 figures. We've had people who were in prison who've made 6 figures. We've had doctors and lawyers and nurses and school teachers who have made 6 figures. So you might have that rope around your neck that society has put around your neck. We have people from so many different races and ethnicities and backgrounds in our family at the Pip Lab. We don't have those ropes around our neck anymore. Once you come into the Forex game, there's no rope around your neck. Forex doesn't care what you look like, what kind of degree you have, how much money you have, whether you're a man, woman, young, old, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or Native American like me. So like my friend Jamie says, it's time to cut the rope. Thank you guys, and we hope to see you soon at the Pip Lab. Have a blessed day.